Narayanam namaskrityam naram chaiva narottamam devim saraswatim vyasam tato jayam udiraye. Before reciting Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, which is the very means of conquest, one should offer respectful obeisance unto the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Narayana, unto Narayan Rishi, the supermost human being, unto Mother Saraswati, the goddess of learning, and unto Śrīla Vyasadeva, the author of Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam. Nashtaprayeshu abhadreshu nityam bhagavata sevaya bhagavati uttama-shloke bhaktir bhavati naishtaki. By regular attendance in the classes on Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam and by rendering service unto the pure devotee, all that is troublesome to the heart is almost completely destroyed, and loving service unto the personality of Godhead, who is praised with transcendental songs, is established as an irrevocable fact. Guruve Gaurachandraya Radhikaya Tadalaye Krishnaya Krishna Bhaktaya Tadbhaktaya Namo Namaha. Namaha Pankajnabhaya Namaha Pankajnvaline Namaha Pankajnetraya Namaste Pankajangri Krishnaya Vasudevaya Devakinandanaya Cha Nandagopa Kumaraya Govindaya Namo Namaha. Namaha Kinchana Vittaya Nivritta Gunavrittaye Atmaramaya Shantaya Kevalye Pataye Namaha. Hare Krishna. So today is a very, very special day. It's the disappearance day of Srila Lochan Das Thakur. Lochan bole say papi ilo ar gelo. So if time permits, we'll sing this wonderful bhajan also. So, but for now, we will move to Canto 8 of Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, chapter number 12, entitled Mohinī-mūrti bewilders Lord Shiva. So Lord Shiva asked the Lord, can I get to see the darshan of the beautiful form of you as a woman? And then Lord Vishnu smiled, really? And smiling and Gambhira also. And then suddenly it disappeared, gone. And then Lord Shiva is searching, well, is he going to do some makeup? Where will he? Lord Shiva was seated, waiting for the Lord and looking here, okay, where did he go? And that's where we stopped last time. So let's see, where did the Lord go? One time, it's a funny story. One person, I just got reminded of this. Where did the Lord go? So in Kirtan, sometimes devoter says, Gaur Nityananda Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Gaur Nityananda Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol. A new person had come, new Western person had come, and he could not really understand what is this going on? What is this? Everyone is chanting and dancing, and everyone is. So he thought, either asking, where did Nityananda go? And everyone is saying, I don't know. Who is Nityananda? Where did he go? I don't know. Everyone is saying it, and everyone is chanting, clapping, and dancing. And then finally he thought to I think I need to ask this to someone. What's going on? Why is everyone saying, where did Nityananda go? And everyone is saying, I don't know. And then he asked to a devotee while he was having his prasadam. This devotee was having his prasadam, and he suddenly asked to this devotee, well, where did Nityananda go? And this devotee said, I don't know. So, interestingly, he thought that that's the thing they have been repeating all. And finally, someone told him, well, you're not singing where did Nityananda go? You're saying God Nityananda Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol. But in here, Lord Shiva must be thinking, where did Lord Vishnu go? And he's searching here and there. Next, see what happens further in text number 18 onwards. Text number 18. Tato dadrasho pavane varastriyam vichitra pushparuna pallavadrume vikridathim kanduka leelaya lasad Dukula parayasta nitamba mekhalam. Translation by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Thereafter, in a nice forest nearby, full of trees with reddish pink leaves and varieties of flowers, Lord Shiva saw a beautiful woman playing with this ball. Her hips were covered with a shining sari and ornamented with a belt. So here comes here comes the Supreme Lord. Yeah, but Lord Shiva, the Leela has kind of started. Lord Vishnu has appeared in this form, but Lord Shiva is not thinking like that. Lord Shiva is thinking, well, he was just watching around, and suddenly this form, beautiful environment, the forest, the leaves, the trees has been described just to help us understand the environment outside. So the Lord is displaying his multifarious energies and multifarious forms. So her bodily complexion, her sari, her belt, her waist belt, all these show and playing with the ball. So basically to allure. So let's see what happens further. Text 19. Yes, Babu Punin Prabhu wants to read. Yes, if anyone wants to read and you have not read last couple of days, it's good to raise the hand so I can, flow. The flow is smoother. Yes, Prabhuji, please read.
आवर्तनोग्रतनक् कम्पितस्तन प्रकृष्टहरोर्भारै पदे पदे प्रभज्यमानम् इव मध्यस्थचलत् पदप्रबलं नयितं ततस्तः. Translation: because of the ball was falling down and bouncing up as she played with her breast tremble because of the weight of those breasts, and her heavy flower garland, her waist appeared to be all but breaking at every step as her two soft feet, which was reddish like coral, moved here and there. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So quite straightforward here. The Mohinī-mūrti is, of course, the Lord has not told currently that this is my form of Mohinī-mūrti, but Lord Shiva is completely captivated by this beautiful form. And there is a book by His Holiness Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj where it's mentioned that we should not see the woman in playing is one of them. While playing, while bathing, while they are combing their hair, etc. There are 5, 6 things, especially. So, of course, in Kali Yuga, it could be quite hard to follow that. But if one sees the women, especially in these states, while playing, while bathing, while combing hair, etc., once we're not talking about Lord Shiva here, we're talking about ordinary person. And ordinary persons, lusty desires would awaken. So we have to be careful. And this is not speculating all these things. This is from Brahmacharya and Krishna Consciousness, the book entitled by Srila Bhakti Vikas Maharaj. And quite natural also. So therefore, especially in Kali Yuga, and whether one is in Western country or India, these days, everything is pretty much the same. So we should be careful because we cannot change the outside world. We are traveling. Some people will be wearing half clothes. Some people will be doing crazy things and etc. but we have to be very, very careful in in not, even if we accidentally end up seeing like the billboards, etc., we should not contemplate at least on those thoughts, because otherwise we will see the ayato vision. Whatever we see, the eyes goes. If the mind keeps on contemplating, then the attachment, lust, attachment, greed, anger, all those, and then finally, smriti vibrama, buddhi nasha pranashati, and will fall down. Lord Shiva is totally separate category. Here we're not talking about ordinary people here, but there's a very important lesson for ordinary jivas like myself here. So we should be very careful, in short, in dealing with the opposite sex, especially. The waist breaking at every step again shows that the waist, her form was very beautiful. The waist, thin waist, heavy breast, heavy hips, etc. This is ultimately the form has been designed by to attract the opposite sex. And it's same. It's not that the woman attracts the man attracts the woman. It's same. The the butter and the fire analogy works on both sides. For male, it is female. For female, it is male. In short, one should always be careful in dealing with opposite sex. One should not be frivolous. One should not be uh, thinking, "Oh, I am devotee since last 10 years. I can now easily control my senses, my mind, my all this is." Uh, for those who think like that, Lord Shiva is teaching a lesson. Kṛṣṇa is teaching a lesson through Lord Shiva. Look at my great devotee. If I want to trick, even Lord Shiva cannot be. Even Lord Shiva was also. So that is, Krishna uses his great devotees to teach. And we have discussed the story of uh, Vyasdev and his disciple, etc. Multiple stories are there that multiple, not just stories, real life examples, people practicing bhakti or different religions, so-called gurus, etc. The common reason, the most common reason of fall down is attachment to opposite sex. Big people. So in short, we should be careful. It's not that we have to be very careful. In short, that's a lesson here. Any other comments or questions, additions before we move on to next verse? Okay. Yes, Vaswati Mataji, you want to read, and then Sudeep Prabhu can read.
Dhanavardhana Prabhuji. Text 20. Dikshu Brahmat Kanduka Chapaler Vrisham Pradvigna Tarayata Lola Lochanam Swakarna Viprajita Kundalolasat Kapola Nilaka Manditananam. Translation by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada ki jai. The woman's face was decorated by broad, beautiful, restless eyes, which moved as the ball bounced here and there from her hand. The two brilliant earrings on her ears decorated her shining cheeks like bluish reflections, and the hair scattered on her face made her even more beautiful to see. So here Shukadev Goswami is describing how beautiful is the Mohinī-mūrti, who is no other than Supreme Lord Kṛṣṇa. So such a beautiful woman, even Lord Shiva get attracted by Maya. So back to you, Prabhuji. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji, for nicely reading. Again, her beautiful features are described in this few texts, so we can keep moving. Yes, Sudeep Prabhu, you want to read, and then Sachin Prabhu can go after him.
Hare Krishna. Krishna Prabhuji or Dandavat Pranam Krishna Shri Prabhu. Hare Krishna devotee. Slatha dukkulam kabarim cha vichyutam sannahitam vamakarena valguna vinigantam anyakarena kandukam vimohya tim jagadatma mayaya. As she played with the ball, the sari covering her body became loose and her hair scattered. She tried to bend her hair with her beautiful left hand. At the same time, she played with the ball by striking it with the right hand. This was so attractive that the Supreme Lord, by his internal potency, in this way captivated everyone. Purport. In Bhagavad Gita 7, chapter 14th verse, it is said that Daivi Esha Gunamayi Mama Maya Duruttaya. The external potency of Supreme Personality of Godhead is extremely strong. Indeed, everyone is fully captivated by her activities. Lord Shambhu, Shiva, was not to be captivated by the external potency, but because Lord Vishnu wanted to captivate him also, he exhibited his internal potency to act the way that his external potency acts to captivate ordinary living entities. Lord Vishnu can captivate anyone, even such a strong personality of Lord Shambhu. So Hare Krishna Prabhuji Dandat Pranam, very wonderful verse, and here Prabhupada is clearly explaining how in Daivi Esha Gunamai Mama Maya Durtaya. So, Supreme Personality of Godhead, Lord Krishna, with his external potency, of course, he can show his internal potency to Lord Vishnu, Lord Shiva, but he was able to captivate even Lord Shiva. So this was, I think, happening because Krishna wants us to learn a lesson that how some devotee, as you just explained, it can be chanting for 10 years, 15 years, 20 years, but can still be uh, fall into Maya. So I fall into Maya mostly, and it's actually a good lesson for me also to focus on chanting and devotional service. That's my understanding. Thank you, Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhu. So, Prabhupada is very nicely clarifying here that Lord Shiva was not captivated by external energy. Lord Shiva was captivated by the internal Atma Maya, spiritual potency, the internal energy. That's the big difference. Whether we are serving Krishna's internal energy or the external energy. Devotees serve the internal energy of the Lord, and the non-devotees serve the external energy of the Lord. Whether this is money or any form of thing which may attract us. Some people may be attracted by some beautiful like palace or beautiful like buildings or some snow-covered mountains or beaches, etc. These are all external energy of the Lord. But here, Lord Shiva was attracted by the internal energy of the Lord. It's a very important lesson here. So what was she doing? She was trying to bind her hair because the hair are loose, the cloth, dukula. Mata Yashoda also, and Mata Yashoda is running after Krishna, exactly same features are described. Of course, Mata Yashoda was also not an ordinary woman. That her sari was getting loose, she was running, she had a heavy body, and her hairs were also becoming loose. And this is not a material meditation. If we have the right consciousness, Srila Prabhupada mentions those who meditate upon this beautiful pastimes. Of course, Shukdev Goswami is meditating, those who will develop the same love as Mata Yashoda. So, therefore, Shukdev Goswami is exactly describing this, how this episode is happening. I was just reminded of that episode of Mata Yashoda. It's quite similar. She was also running. This Mohinī-mūrti, this is also running, playing with the ball, and then the hairs are getting loose. The sari is getting loose because they are running. So, and Lord Shiva is completely captivated because he's very, very strong, but not stronger than the Supreme Lord. So if the Lord wants, then he can capture or captivate anyone. So, any other comments, additions anyone has? Okay, let's continue with text 22. Yes, Sachin Prabhu, you want to read?
Yes. Tam vikshya dev iti kandukali leshad vidas foot विस्पृष्ट कटाक्षुषट स्त्री प्रेक्षणा प्रति समीक्षणा विह्वलात्मा नात्मानम अंतिका उमाम स्वगणांश्च वेद. While Lord Shiva observed the beautiful woman playing with the ball, she sometimes glanced at him and slightly smiled in bashfulness. As he looked at the beautiful woman and she watched him, he forgot both himself and Uma, his most beautiful wife, as well as his associates nearby. The material bondage of the world is that a beautiful woman can captivate a handsome man, and that a handsome man can captivate a beautiful woman. Such are the affairs that began when Lord Shiva observed the beautiful girl playing with the ball. In such activities, the influence of Cupid is very prominent. As both parties move their eyebrows and glance at one another, their lusty desires increase more and more. Such reciprocations of lusty desire took place between Lord Shiva and the beautiful woman, even though Uma and Lord Shiva's associates were by Lord Shiva's side. Such is the attraction between man and woman in the material world. Lord Shiva was supposed to be above all this attraction, but he was victimized by the captivating power of Lord Vishnu. Rishabhadev thus explains the nature of lusty attraction. Pumsa striya mithuni bhavam etam tayor mitho hridaya granthim ahu ato grih kshetra sutapta vitair. Could you scroll, Prabhuji? Janasya mohoyam aham mameti. The attraction between male and female is the basic principle of material existence. On the basis of this misconception, which ties together the hearts of the male and the female, one becomes attracted to his body, home, property, children, relatives, and wealth. In this way, one increases life's illusions and thinks in terms of I and mine. When a man and a woman exchange feelings of lust, both of them are victimized, and thus they are bound to this material world in various ways. Yeah. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Thank you, Prabhu. Oh, nicely reading. Where are you connecting from? Which city? Which country?
I'm in US, Missouri.
Oh, I think you texted me. Now I recall.
Yes.
Thank you for joining.
On the video, I just forgot that.
Oh, no worries, Prabhu. We have to be qualified to see devotees like you. So, thank you for joining. So here, very important lesson. Shukdev Goswami is basically telling that how Lord Shiva was attracted. Of course, Lord Shiva is an extraordinary personality, but Prabhupada is mentioning that this whole world, the attraction to opposite sex is so strong that one may completely forget everything. The famous story of Ajamil, how he saw the prostitute and the other drunkard, embracing, and how he kicked out his wife, his parents, and everyone started stealing and looting and murdering others and basically started having children after children till 96 years of age, just trying to enjoy the bodily pleasures. I, me, and mine. Very, very strong attachment. One forgets everything. One forgets. Even Indra one time got a pig's body, and then he was absorbed in the he pig, she pig, family pig, papa pig, mama pig. So completely forgot that, oh, I was Indra. Same case with Gajendra also. Oh, family picnic in water park, splashing water, water slides in here, water there, everyone nicely happy. Forgot, one forgets until something big comes, until the Yamadutas come, or until the crocodile comes. So, and sometimes one may it may be too late. The point here is that this is this is such a strong connection or bondage that one doesn't feel that I am bound. One happily continues thinking I am free, but whole life one is just working to fulfill the needs of family and home and car and bank balance and EMI and mortgage and this rent or whatever home or property tax and this that. One is just so busy, and one feels, well, I'm free. Well, I have my house, I have my car, I have my job, I have my family, but one is so caught up. And one forgets Krishna in this whole scene. One forgets the Supreme Lord in this whole scene. And one thinks that, well, the goal of the life is asatyam pratishthante jagat ahur anishwaram aparaspara sambhutam kama eto hetukam. Bhagavad Gita chapter 16, I believe text 11 or so, that this world is just meant to enjoy. Come. What is the other reason? That the whole reason is to enjoy opposite sex. That's why God has given us this life. That's demoniac philosophy. Intelligent people don't delve in the pleasures which animals can also delve in. That's the other shloka which Rishabh Dev tells to his 100 children. These pleasures are easily available to the animalistic life also. Human life is meant for higher purpose. What's that? Ahar nidra bhai maithunam cha. Samanyo etad pashubhi narana. Eating, sleeping, mating, and defending. Animals also mate, humans also mate. Animals also eat, humans also eat. Animals also have sleeping, humans also sleep. Animals also. So all these four common things, eating, sleeping, mating, defending, are common. What is the difference? Dharma hi tesham adhiko vishesho dharma vina pashu bhi narana. धर्म के बिना पशु और नर समान हैं. अर्थात the animal and humans are same without dharma or Krishna consciousness. In short, one should not waste one's precious life in just I, me, and mine and this bodily attachment. We have to take care. That doesn't mean that everyone has to be brahmachari or take sannyas, etc. That means that we have to be cognizant that this is not my wife or my husband to enjoy the senses. God has given me a servant of his or hers. The spiritual master has given me her daughter or his daughter or his son, for me to serve him or her, not to exploit or enjoy him or her. If one has that consciousness, His Holiness Radhanath Swami Maharaj says, don't think that she is your husband or wife. Think that she is my daughter first and your husband and wife second. She is a devotee first, or he is a devotee first and your husband and wife second. Because the spiritual relationship is the eternal relationship. The bodily relationships are temporary relationships. When we have that strong philosophical background, when we have that strong sadhana, seva, etc., then only there is hope to be saved from this very, very strong influence of lust. Otherwise, this bond is so strong that we will not even know that we are bound. It's invisible bond. It's invisible kind of bondage. One will happily, if you ask an ordinary person, hey, are you bound? What? Who says I'm bound? Look at, I can go to any hill station I want. I have a lot of money in my bank. I can buy a car. I can go to any country I want. I have a nice family, nice car, nice job, nice this, nice that. I'm free bird. Eno aparadhe yar jati na janmilo. Lochan bole say Thakur ilo argilo. One who does not awaken love for Lord Nityananda, love for Lord Gauranga, Lochan bole say Thakur ilo argilo. That person came and went. That means that person did not accomplish what was supposed to be accomplished in the human form of life, and that is attraction towards Sri Radha and Krishna, Sri Gaur Nitai, the spiritual master, so that we don't have to take birth in this. And one of the main reasons is we keep continuing to take birth in this world is desires, attachment, lust, etc. So, any other thoughts, comments anyone has? I'm just repeating all this for my own self. Don't think I'm giving class or preaching. I'm just repeating all this so that I can stay aligned, because padam padam vipadam, there is danger at every step. Okay, you can read one or two more verses. Yes, let's continue. Text 23 was not read this week. Okay, Taira wants to read. Yes, please read. Taira Mataji, please read.
तस्य करो ग्रात्सातु कन्दुक्तो यदा गतो विदूरं तम् अनुव्रजत् स्त्रियः वास ससूत्रं लघु मरुता हरद् भवस्य देवस्य खिलं पश्यतः Purport. Prabhuji, please show. Translation. When the ball leaped from her hand and fell at the distance, the woman began to follow it. But as Lord Shiva observed these activities, a breeze suddenly blew away the fine dress and belt that covered her. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna. Thank you for reading this verse. So, quite straightforward here. She had covered her body and the wind came and the sari blew. But nowadays, half of the people don't cover even their body. What to speak of the wind They themselves don't want to cover their body. And then there's a problem. Why is bad things like are increasing? Because if the women don't cover their body, naturally their bad things will increase. Very simple. Because the people will get attracted to the body, and then their lower modes will increase, like ignorance and passion. And now that does not mean that the problem is with men or women. The problem is with this concept of not covering the bodies. And what happens, we know very well in the story of Nalkuvera and Manigriva. They also didn't cover their body when Narad Muni was passing by. And what happened? They became trees. Well, you don't like to cover your bodies? Okay, I'll give you a body which will nicely suit your needs. Because Krishna has a multi-store. 64, 84 lakh. 8.4 million garments are there. Pick what you want. You have choice. Pick what you want. Uh, you want this garment. You want a bear garment, deer garment, a tree garment. Nalkur and Manigriv, they got the garment of the tree or the body of the tree. Well, but they were not ordinary trees. They were trees in the courtyard of Nanda Maharaj, because it was a blessing in disguise by Narad Muni. So in short, we should properly cover our body, and it is especially uh, for women. It's much more important uh, to cover the body, whether it's in India or US or Europe. That does not matter. The world may do things, but that does not mean that we have to imitate them, and we have to follow our roots, our Vedic culture, our Sanatan Dharma, and that certainly means to cover our body. Look at Srila Prabhupada's disciples. I have seen so many disciples of Srila Prabhupada's Matajis. They cover their head also. Yes, they're Western, I mean, what to speak of, look at the level of surrender. Anytime you look at Ananta Mataji, always you'll find her head is covered. Isn't that amazing? We're born in a Western country where everything is topsy-turvy. For them, wearing half the clothes is norm. No one is going to say anything. Their parents won't say anything. The mother and daughter will wear half clothes, and the grandmother, everyone will have half clothes. It's fine. But look at the level of surrender they have, that they completely transform their lives. Isn't it amazing? It's absolutely amazing. In India, people may think, well, this is old-fashioned and this and that. They didn't grow up in that culture, but they had one thing: love towards spiritual master, surrender towards spiritual master. Karishyasi vachnam tvai. He will do as you say. You say it's the right thing to do. You are our true well-wisher. We will do it. Period. No if, no but, just following 100% the words of Srila Prabhupada. What will happen to those great souls? Well, they'll achieve the topmost perfection of life, back to Godhead. Any other comments anyone has? Okay, let's move on. Text 24. This will be the last for today. Yes, Ramesh Prabhu has raised hand. Please, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, Dandavat Pranam, text number 24. Evam tam ruchira apangim darshaniyam manoramam društva tasyam manachakre vishanjantyam bhava-khila. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Translation: Thus Lord Shiva saw the woman, every part of whose body was beautifully formed, and the beautiful woman also looked at him. Therefore, thinking that she was attracted to him, Lord Shiva became very much attracted to her. Purport: Lord Shiva was observing every part of the woman's body, and she was also glancing at him with restless eyes. Thus, Shiva thought that she was also attracted to him, and now he wanted to touch her. So basically, as you just explain everything, Prabhu, regarding to how the Supreme Personality, if sometimes wants, can captivate anybody. And here we can see the Lord Shiva is such a exalted devotee, also now almost like a fall in love with her. And this is because of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, because he is the prime cause of all causes. Ishvara Parama Krishna Sachidananda Vigraha Anadiradri Govinda Sarva Karanam. This is what I understood, Prabhu. Whatever is happened, it's happened. His mercy only. Back to you. Thank you.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Thank you so much for so nicely reading this. So, quite straightforward. In the material world, we see the perverted reflection of this kind of situation to the external energy. Love at first sight. But there's a proverb after that also. Love at first sight, divorce at first fight. And therefore we see actually, I've seen in my acquaintance and my friends side, love at first sight. Husband or sorry, boy and girl, I want to marry him only. If I don't marry, I will die. If I don't, and they will go against the whole society, against every norm and this and that, and spend crores and lakhs of rupees in the marriage, and it lasts a couple of months at max. Love at first sight, divorce at first fight. So many cases. Now it's people have stopped counting only. The first divorce case appeared in the newspaper. Oh, this family, this couple is getting divorced. Nowadays it's so common. Nowadays people don't want to get married only. Why? To take headache of getting married, because they think, well, after a couple of years will anyways think of having someone else. In short, the culture is turning into vulture. This live-in relationships and this and that. Culture is changing very, very fast. Why? Because of lack of Krishna consciousness. This whole thing is coming up. But we always have to remember the story of liquid beauty. This mind which is attracted to the body of the opposite sex. What is this body? Therefore, we have to analyze, what is this body? This body is made up of flesh, stool, mucus, blood, pus, some iron, some calcium, some all these elements. Correct? If you put these elements, will anyone be attracted to blood, stool, pus, mucus, etc.? No. The story of everyone knows the story of liquid beauty. Who doesn't know the story of liquid beauty? Okay, I'll quickly share it. So there was a king who was attracted, who saw this beautiful, very, very beautiful, very, very perfect figure lady, and the king said, "Well, I want to marry you. You are the most beautiful I've ever seen. I want to marry you." Love at first sight. And this lady said, "Well, okay, you want to marry me? I'll marry you, but can you come after 4 weeks, please?" He said, "Okay, 4 weeks, not a very big deal. 1 month later, we'll get married." This lady was a very self-realized soul, and then she started to take laxatives and purgatives, etc. basically to induce vomiting and stool and diarrhea, all this. So losing the body's fluids and vomiting and passing stool and blood and vomiting. So what happened? Her body became very, very pale, dull, and she collected all that stool, blood, mucus, vomit, etc. And her beauty was kind of gone. She looked very pale, very, very dark, very unhealthy, diseased, sickly person. And this person came after 4 weeks. This king came and knocked at the door. Well, where is my princess? I want to marry. And so this person felt that the maid servant has answered the door. Hey, can you call your mistress? I want to have come. Can you call your mistress? The Well, I want to marry her. This lady replied, well, I'm the same person you saw. Well, you're the same person? How can you be the same person? The person I saw was so beautiful, so healthy, and she had a thin waist and this and this and this and that. Oh, okay. So you want to see where my beauty has gone? Look, you wanted to marry my beauty. So she brought the king to those pots. It had blood in some pot and stool and mucus and vomiting and all the waste substances. Okay, so king, you want to marry these? These were the things you were attracted to. Though now those are missing. I'm still the same person. So that is the story of liquid beauty. The body is just, it is a Krishna's creation. Krishna's Maya Shakti is so strong that we are attracted to the opposite sex because of how they look, or how someone may be attracted to someone's money, or someone's other intelligence, or all these features, whether beauty or intelligence or fame or other aspects. But Srila Prabhupada always, if you remember the story of Gajendra, there we read that there was a special sarovar where even the great apsaras would come, and their bodies would so fragrant that the water body would get fragrance. And Srila Prabhupada, you know what he writes in the purple? Srila Prabhupada said, like, the if the Gandharva ladies are so beautiful, how beautiful must be the residents of spiritual world, and how beautiful must be Srila Krishna, the creator, Sri Krishna. If the energy is so beautiful, how beautiful the creator must be. So the energy should help us to remind us of the energetic. Whether we see someone intelligence, Krishna says, I'm the intelligence of the intelligent. I'm the beauty of the beautiful. I'm the strength of the strong. The Miss World and Miss World, Mr. World, or whatever universe and whatnot, they may be very beautiful for some time. It's not that the same person keeps winning decades after decades, right? Am I right? They may win for a couple of years at max. But next, time and tide will just wear everything off. And then they may think they are the most beautiful in the world. But compared to Gandharva Loka or the upper planets, the ugliest of those women or males or females, the ugliest of those in front of those people, the Miss World and Mr. World, are like frogs. Their beauty is like frogs in front of the people of upper planets, Gandharva Loka, etc. They're so beautiful. They don't have to apply deodorant. They don't apply perfumes and this and that. When they take bath in the water body gets all the fragrance. We read that in the Bhagavatam. So they are extraordinary. Now, the most beautiful of the Gandharvas, their beauty is like a frog in front of Lakshmi Devi. We read the beauty of Lakshmi Devi also in the Samudra Manthan. Now, in the beauty of, and then keep going higher and higher, spiritual world, the gopis, and amongst the gopis, Sri Radhika and Kṛṣṇa. And here Kṛṣṇa is also attracted to Madan Mohan Mohini. So, how beautiful must be Kṛṣṇa. So, the beauty of this world, things of this world should help us to remember the Supreme Lord, not to get entangled with the energy and not to crave for it. Any other thoughts or comments anyone has before we pause? Okay, so we will see. Well, Lord Shiva wants to the company of wants to I guess touch her. Let's see what happens next, and we'll pause here. Grantraj Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam ki jai, Śrīla Prabhupada ki jai, Śrīla Srindas Thakur Maharaj ki jai,
Yeah.
Samaveta Gaur Bhaktavinda ki jai.
Yeah.
Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhya eva cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo Hare Krishna. Thank you so
Hare
much.
Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.